Who will be Man United's new striker for the season 25-26? That's the question everyone is asking themselves. And we're going to dive into this. So welcome back to the channel, people. You know the face, you know the name. Aaron here, back again with another video. Shout out to everyone tuning in, showing love and support each and every time. Have we passed 17K? That's the question, actually. As I'm recording this, last time I checked, we were just under, and we're still just under 17K, 16,991. So, if you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the share button as well. Share this with anyone that you know loves football or loves Man United, and comment. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section so that we can have a proper discussion about this topic. But yes, who's going to be Man United's new striker for the new season? That's the big question, like I said at the beginning of this video. And I think you don't have to be a genius. I don't think you have to be a genius to understand and to see that United are looking for a new striker. They're looking for a new number 9. It's not rocket science. I mean, all of the reports coming out, like I said, it's not rocket science, is it? And it's clear that they're trying to move on Rasmus Højlund, even though he's still at the club and even though he travelled with the club on pre-season tour. I think once United have found who they want to go for, and once negotiations are close to being concluded, I think they will allow him, Rasmus Højlund, to speak to other clubs and to let him go. So I believe that's the scenario that's more likely to happen, in my opinion. So anyway, I've narrowed all of the options down to 4 guys, 4 strikers, and I'm going to start with Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins, of course, Aston Villa striker, 29 years of age. Last season in the Premier League, he managed to get 16 goals in 38 Premier League games. And I'm purposely only trying to look at league goals only because, as you know, Man United don't have any European competition. So this is what we have to look at. Ollie Watkins is someone that I like. I'm not going to say I'm a fan of him, but I like his way of playing. He's not your typical centre forward that's just going to stay in the box and be happy to receive service from all angles. He's going to drop deep. He's going to, get involved in link-up play. He's going to try and involve his teammates. That's the type of striker he is. He'll drift out to the right, drift to the left. He'll make sure he keeps centre-backs busy so that they don't have him in that trap of being in between both centre-backs and I don't think that's the only area that he operates in. So he's been a solid striker for Aston Villa. Obviously, for England, when you're behind Harry Kane, is almost impossible to be playing. So I'm guessing, it could be a good option, but I just don't know, especially when it comes to the age. I know he's Premier League proven and he scored his fair share of goals for Aston Villa, but I just don't know if that's going to be enough for Man United, because as a Man United number 9, you have to be able to do so much. You have to be able to do so much. And in the air, I don't know if I can say he's the greatest, but he's not bad either. Like, I think he's decent in the air, and I'm saying this because we put a fair amount of crosses in sometimes into the box, and more often than not, nobody's there. So, Ollie Watkins is somebody that I like. Movement in the box, I would say, is quite decent as well. He knows how to finish. I don't think his finishing has ever been a problem. Yes, sometimes he can miss, or rarely, he can miss sitters, but, who doesn't miss sitters? Everybody does. But I think for a striker, when you serve him well, and when he gets involved into link-up play and whatnot, he can be a threat. Obviously, in recent times, it's not been the best relationship between him and Unai Emery. Remember, they signed Marcus Rashford on loan, and sometimes Marcus Rashford started over Ollie Watkins, and Emery had his reasons, and Emery had his explanations as to why he would make those decisions. So I think that's an option that Man United can explore. Let's move on to the second option, and the second option is Benjamin Sesko. Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig, 22 years of age. Plays for RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga, like I said. Last season in the Bundesliga, 13 goals in 33 appearances. Now, for someone who, and I'm looking at the profile here, 195 centimeters. For someone who's over 6 foot, what is it? Over 6'2", 6'3" almost. For someone who's that tall, I don't know why there's so much doubt around somebody like Sesko. Because really and truly, when you're so physically imposing like him, and when you're tall like him, usually tall strikers in the Bundesliga, they tend to do really well. I'm looking at somebody like Edin Dzeko, who absolutely tore the Bundesliga apart together with Grafich when they used to play for Wolfsburg. But I'm not going to sit here and lie. 13 goals in 33 appearances in the Bundesliga, knowing that the Bundesliga is a league that notoriously gives forwards, not just strikers, but forwards, a lot of space to run into and a lot of space to do their damage in. The goal tally is quite low, I would say. I would expect at least 15. And when I look at the goal scorers list in the Bundesliga, and I'm seeing people like Tim Kleindienst from Borussia Mönchengladbach, I'm seeing people like Jonathan Burkhardt from Mainz be above people like Benjamin Sesko, it does raise a few eyebrows. It really does. Now, when it comes to the finishing, though, that's a whole different conversation because his ball striking is absolutely fantastic, I would say. I mean, two goals that come into mind straight away. There was one goal where he just received it just outside the area on his left, drifts in with his right foot and just bangs it in top corner. There's another one where he had that crazy finish with Slovenia, his national team. So he can finish incredibly well. The question is, can he do it in the Premier League? And I'm going to sound like I'm a Premier League merchant here, and you guys know that I'm not. But yeah, can he do it in the Premier League? That's the big question, you know? Another thing that I another thing that I found extremely disturbing is that price tag. And that's probably the reason why Arsenal didn't go in for him, because RB Leipzig are asking for over 90 million euros. That should be around about 70 something pounds, 70 something million pounds. I don't think United want to pay that for a striker. Not without Premier League experience. If this was a proven Premier League striker, banging in goals for fun in the Premier League and the club goes, we want 70 plus, I don't think United would have had a problem with that. I do think United appreciate Sesko, according to what reports say, and I do think they had a look at him, but I think the price might put them off. Unless they manage to strike a deal in an incredible fashion. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that 90 mil is scaring people off because ever since that price tag's been mentioned, not many clubs have been approaching Leipzig to try and secure the services of Sesko. And I do think there's potential there. But that's another thing that I have an issue with. United should stay away from strikers with potential because we've tried it and we failed massively. Just look at Højlund. No. People are going to say, yeah, but he's young. And I understand that. And fair enough. If he goes somewhere else and it works out, cool. But I don't think United can afford to be signing another potential striker. No. We've done that for 2 years and look how it came back to haunt us. So I wouldn't go in for Sesko. And personally, I wouldn't go in for Ollie Watkins. That's just my opinion. Even though Ollie Watkins is Premier League proven. Anyway, let's move on to the next target that I want to talk about. Nicholas Jackson. Jackson? Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson, 24 years of age, obviously plays for Chelsea. 10 goals in 30 games in the Premier League last season for Chelsea. Kind of fell behind in the pecking order for Chelsea when it comes to strikers because of that, or those two stupid red cards that he got, one in the Premier League towards the end of the season, which made him miss that last game against Nottingham Forest, and one stupid red card in the FIFA Club World Cup, which, yeah, I believe that's the reason why he fell behind in the pecking order, because subsequently Chelsea went into the market and got in Liam Delap and Joao Pedro. And now these two are ahead of him, and there's talks of him leaving the club. Now, Nicholas Jackson is an interesting profile because Chelsea, or a part of Chelsea fans, don't really rate him like that. And for some reason, United fans, or a part of United fans, because I don't want to paint everybody with the same brush, a part of United fans seem to think that he's a bum and he's just a bad signing if United were to go in for him. Now, listen, he's probably not my cup of tea, but I don't think that would be a bad signing. And, I've said this on Twitter and somebody rebutted and said, well, because Hoyland is so bad, anything or anyone, any striker is just going to be better than Hoyland, just by default. I disagree with that. I disagree because I actually think there's a player in there in Jackson. One thing that I really commend him for, and that's something that I've always said, even when he had his first season with Chelsea, I said, Chelsea fans don't rate Jackson like that. But I think what he doesn't offer in terms of goals and banging them in for fun, he offers something very, very unique, which not a lot of strikers are able to do. There's countless times, and I don't need to have watched a compilation to say this because I watched a lot of Chelsea games last season. Countless times I've seen Jackson drop into midfield, ask for the ball. Defenders, he takes a defender with him. The ball is played into him, rolls the defender. He just rolls the defender off him, bang, and he's gone. And one thing he's really good at is ball carrying, bro. That's one thing I'll give Jackson. Ball carrying wise, he is really, really good. And United fans, don't sit there and lie to me. When's the last time we had, forget a forward, a player that can carry the ball for long distances without being tackled or without being brought down? Like I said, the last two, by the way, Mbeumo and Cunha aside, because those two can do it. The last two that I can think of that were able to do that were Pogba and Lingard, and Martial sometimes. Those three were excellent at ball carrying, short touches, drive. When a defender comes, whoop, little move, gone. Like, not many people are able to do that. And this particular skill in football is really, really underrated. It's really underrated, and people are overlooking this type of skill. Yeah, ball carrying, you're just an aesthetics merchant. Do you know how important ball carrying is? I'll tell you how important this is. How many times have we watched United play football games and lose the ball, win it back and lose it again? It's because they can't carry the ball for long distances. When they carry it forward, they get blocked, they get tackled, Nobody in this team can carry the ball forward for long periods, yards and yards and yards, allowing everybody to push up and then, create chances. Nobody can do that. So I believe if Jackson were to come in, I wouldn't expect goals from Jackson because he would have runners next to him anyway. He would have Dorgu and Cunha on his left if he's facing the goal, driving the ball forward, and he would have Ahmad and Mbeumo on the right. I mean, come on, man. Would you not have those options if you were carrying the ball forward? Would you not have, or would you not like to have those type of options? I would. So I don't think that would be a bad signing at all. Now, he does miss a lot of sitters sometimes. I'll agree with that when it comes to finishing, and sometimes he's a bit selfish, and we've seen that in his most recent game with Chelsea against PSG actually, where Cole Palmer was going absolutely mental. I remember that. But I think if you coach that out of him, which you can, you've got a decent player there, man. You've got a decent player there. And remember, Man United need to bring in someone, a number 9, that's going to be able to be compatible with the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo. I don't expect Man United to bring a striker in that's going to give us 20 goals. I'm not saying that because we haven't had that for such a long time. And in this modern football that's being played, that's not what you need right now. Because this game of football nowadays, the modern type of football, is heavily reliant on systems. So you need players that are going to contribute. So we have those players in 2 of them, Mbeumo and Cunha. And if we can add someone like that in Jackson, I'm not going to be mad at that. Do you know what I mean? If Jackson were to come in, that's 10 from the striker, that's 15 from Cunha, and that's 20 from Mbeumo. All of a sudden, you've got goals. You've got at least 10 goals in 3 players. Would you not want to have that? I'm just saying. So, Jackson, if he was the one to come in, fair enough, fair play. But again, the price tag. Reports are coming out saying that Chelsea want between 80 and 100 million. That's way too much. That's way too much. And this is where, being United, I would pull out. I would pull out of the negotiations and say, nah, not for me. Not for me. But yeah, that's Nicholas Jackson. And the last option, last but not least, is Jean-Philippe Mateta. And you can probably tell by my smile, this is my favourite option. 28 years of age, plays for Crystal Palace, won the FA Cup winner, 14 goals in 37 games in the Premier League last season. Now listen, Jean-Philippe Mateta is a different breed. I think if United were to go in for him, he would fit in perfectly. Link-up play, it's there. Almost as good as Jackson, or no, as good as Jackson's, if not better, in my opinion. You bring this one in, you've got the link-up play, you've got someone who's able, again, to carry the ball forward for long distances, for yards and yards and yards, bringing people in. We've seen it, how we did it for the FA Cup final, literally for Eze's goal. Received the ball with the defender in his back, rode him, drove forward, played it out wide, cross came in, Eze's there to finish it. If we can have somebody like that, again, with the likes of Cunha and Dorgu from the left as options, with the likes of Ahmad and Bumo on the right as options, listen. United would be able to do something with someone like Jean-Philippe Mateta. I'm not too sure about his price tag. I don't know if it's available here on my app. Well, it says here market value 23 million. I would jump at this. 23 million. We're paying 16 per year for Mbumo. Add a few million on that. You've got 23. You pay it outright and you say, listen, Jean-Philippe Mateta, come. I believe that would be an excellent option. And out of the four, I believe that's the best option we can go for. Premier League proven, scores goals, knows how to score goals, can finish, defenders. They know they've got a tough day when they're facing somebody like Mateta. So that would probably be the best option, in my opinion, if you ask me. So, let me know what you think in the comment section, people. Let me know who is your favorite or who's your best option out of these four. Mateta, Jackson, Watkins, or Sesko. Let me know in the comment section below. Surely after this video, we hit 17K. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. And yeah, people, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I shall see you very, very soon. Peace. Today's video was sponsored by Subway Mark Collection. Now listen, it's summertime. I know you want to hit that beach. I know you want to go to that birthday party. Listen, I know you want to go to that wedding. What better pair of shades to make you feel like you're the flyest person in the room or on the beach than Subway Mark Collection? The mission is to build a brand that reflects empowerment. Life is a journey full of obstacles that we can't escape, and you need to have self-confidence and trust in yourself to overcome those challenges. The vision is to empower you to accept yourself as you are, and know that you're a unique breed and there's only one of you. Life is a marathon. Hold your vision and trust the process. Add a finishing touch to your outfit with these slick and sharp sunglasses. A lifestyle that empowers. Hit the link in the description and get yours now.